Yo, what up, people? This your boy Primeval, the IMC TV Weekend Review, this week 2022. We appreciate you supporting us, clicking on the podcast and visiting the radio station and listening to our hot off the chain radio. We appreciate you once again. This week 2022, as I stated, we're gonna go straight to the news that has been happening this week in our world. Russian paramilitaries killing and torturing civilians in CAR. The United Nations has called on the United States to take action to protect civilians in the Central African Republic, where Russian paramilitaries have committed serious abuses against civilians since 2019. Human Rights Watch said in a report on Tuesday. The country has been on the scene of a civil war since 2013, but has considerably decreased in intensity since 2018. President Faustin Archange Touadera, however, called on Moscow in late 2020 to rescue a weak and destitute army to repel a rebel offensive that threatened Bangui and the regime. Hundreds of Russian paramilitaries, mercenaries from the private security company Wagner, according to the UN and Western capitals, were sent to reinforce hundreds of others who had been supporting the regime since 2018. Thanks to them, the armed groups, whether rebels or simple predators, have been pushed back from a majority of the 2/3 of the territory they still occupied in 2020. However, the UN, the European Union, and countries such as France accuse Wagner's mercenaries of committing crimes and abuses against civilians. There's compelling evidence that forces identified as Russian supporting the Central African government have committed serious abuses against civilians with complete impunity, said Ida Sawyer, the director of the Human Rights Watch Conflict and Crisis Division. This is crazy. Let's go into other news real quick before we analyze that. Mali, France has lost legal basis for military operations. Mali has declared that France no longer has a legal basis for carrying out military operations in the country after a Bamako quick key defense agreement. The announcement on Malian television late Tuesday came a day after the junta walked out of several agreements underpinning French and European missions in the jihadist hit state. Foreign Minister Abdoulaye Diop said that it would take 6 months for the formal end of a 2014 defense cooperation agreement with France to take effect. However, the legal end of agreements signed in 2013 and 2020 on France's Barkhane and Europe's Takuba operations in Mali applied immediately, he said. So as of May 2nd, the agreement covering Barkhane and the agreement covering Takuba ceased taking an effect with regard to Mali, which means that as of this moment, there's no legal basis for France to operate on Malian soil, Diop said. France deployed thousands of troops in Mali backed by drones and warplanes under its Barkhane operation, a mission aimed at helping fragile allies in the Sahel fight a brutal jihadist insurgency. I think Africa just need to do their own thing. This is a good news right here that Mali is saying that France no longer have any legal basis of operating in the territories, but in the same strength, they are actually getting mercenaries, just like the Central African Republic. It got mercenaries, Russian mercenaries, and they are actually killing their own civilians, you know what I'm saying? And this Africa needs to come together real strong. As a continent, I don't see why we are actually going to the Western world and asking for support to fight the jihadis. I don't understand what the African Union is doing, you know what I'm saying? The African Union as a body, they are not even, they're not proactive. This is African Union is supposed to be a Pan-African organization that should be there for the interests of all African nations. So situations like this where you have countries going to get mercenaries from outside Africa, it's just ridiculous. We should have an African military force, that can help sustain peace in the African continent. Because we can't keep going to the Western world, because the Western world are only there, for what they can gain. It's not about really truly helping. Yeah, they will give you one and take 10 from you. That's pretty much what's going on. So we need to open our eyes as Black people, as African continent. We need to open our eyes and do for ourselves. In this day and age, it shouldn't be that difficult. The technology is right there. Like I said, if it's reverse engineering techs that are out there, and we need to get it together, because it seems like we are just not doing the right thing. And at the end of the day, generations unborn, African generations unborn, are the ones that's going to suffer all of this kind of lack of leadership that we are experiencing in Africa. Other news though, breaking: IPOB not on our list of terrorist groups, not prescribed in Britain. UK makes clarifications on contentious document. The United Kingdom government has stated that the indigenous people of Biafra is neither a terrorist group nor proscribed in a European country. The UK, in a release on Friday obtained by the press, said reports claiming it designated the group as terrorists were false. The United Kingdom Visas and Immigration Office disclosed in its May 2022 policy update said IPOB is proscribed as a terrorist group by the Nigerian government, and members of the group and its paramilitary wing, the Eastern Security Network, created in December 2020, have reportedly committed human rights violations in Nigeria. If a person has been involved with IPOB or any affiliated group, MASOB, or any other Biafran group that incites or uses violence to achieve its aims, decision makers must consider whether one or more of the exclusion clauses under the Refugee Convention is applicable. Persons who commit human rights violations must not be granted asylum. And the Nigerian government, in a statement issued by the presidency spokesman Garba Shehu, had said the UK stance was a welcome development and should be followed up with appropriate actions. But a statement by the British High Commission in Abuja on Friday said this wasn't the case. It reads, "We are aware of inaccurate reporting circulating in the media and online that the UK government has added the indigenous people of Biafra to the UK's list of terror groups or organizations banned under UK law. These reports are untrue. The indigenous people of Biafra is not a proscribed organization in the UK." It's good to know that they are not a proscribed organization, because I never saw the wisdom in the Nigerian government prescribing them in the first place. Because these are people that were just agitating for what's right. They're still agitating for what's right. But the government is not willing to sit down and dialogue with these people and do the needful. But rather, the government will rather sit with murderers, rapists, terrorists, people that are actually killing people. They will actually sit with these people. They will actually give these people ransom. They will actually try to reintegrate these people back into society, whereby people that are just speaking and just using their voices are actually being chased and killed, up and down. So that's the story of Nigeria right now. So I'm glad that the United Kingdom has taken this stance, and I'm for sure that false reporting was actually, I won't be surprised if it's somebody from the Nigerian government that put that out in the first place. Other news though, former Nigerian Senator Arthur Nzeribe is dead. Former Nigerian Senator Francis Arthur Nzeribe is dead. The late lawmaker was 83 years old. He died on Sunday morning. According to sources, Nzeribe was declared dead at a foreign hospital following an undisclosed ailment. He died this morning in a hospital abroad. The family will soon release a statement, the source said. Nzeribe was a senator who represented Orlu first in 1999, but in November 2002, and then Senate President Ayin Pius Ayin suspended Nzeribe indefinitely over an allegation of 22 million naira fraud. Also in April 2006, the Orlu's People Consultative Assembly, sponsored by the then governor of Imo State, Achike Udenwa, staged what he called a 1 million march to drum support for Nzeribe Dies, who called from the Senate. Due to popular demand in December 2006, Nzeribe was defeated by Osita Uzunaso during the People's Democratic Party primaries for the 2007 senatorial election. I guess that's his legacy, because that's what's written up about him, but again, may he rest in peace, he lived a long life, because he's 83 years old, but again, I'm for sure his family are going to be, in pains and distraught and all of that. So our hearts and our sympathies go to the family. May he rest in peace, though. But other news that are in our world, in Africa, Nigeria Anti-Corruption Agency, ICPC, to investigate Central Bank Governor Emefiele interest group over purchase of 100 million naira APC forms. Civic group, the Human and Environmental Development Agenda Header Resource Center, has petitioned the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offenses Commission, ICPC, urging the body to investigate the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, and an emergency interest group, Green Alliance. Emefiele had reportedly picked the nomination form on Friday from the party's organizing secretary at the International Conference Center in Abuja. Emefiele, under whom the Apex Bank had retrogressed and the national economy receded, said it was patriots who bought the All Progressive Congress Party's nomination forms for him, hiding that he would use his own money to buy his nomination forms when he had made a decision to run for the #1 office. In a statement, Header said it had petitioned the ICPC to take swift action to prevent the breach of the Central Bank of Nigeria Act by the governor by promptly and diligently investigating the motive and sponsors of the Green Alliance movement, and if any foul play was uncovered, such corporates should be prosecuted accordingly. The group said a statement by the CBN governor shows that he had been involved in politics contrary to Section 9 of the CBN Act. This is a sad story. I think it's an unfortunate story. This Nigerian central bank governor that's supposed to be apolitical has just picked up a form 100 million naira to run for the presidency of Nigeria. For people that don't know, 100 million naira is about at least $200,000. You know what I'm saying? Which is ridiculous, just to pay for a form to run for president of a country. Especially for a country where you have a lot of people that are suffering, you have a lot of insecurity. You know what I'm saying? Nothing is working, no electricity, no clean water, no good roads. I can just go on and on and on and on and on. And you have people paying 100 million naira to get a form. According to reports, the main party, which is the APC, the ruling party right now, has collected over 30 billion naira, just for forms alone, man. So these are the things that are actually making corruption, that are actually making the growth of corruption possible. Because who is going to afford 100 million? And why nobody asking who's paying? Where are these people getting money? Nobody want to say they pay for themselves. They always come and say, "Oh, somebody pay for us," like this CBN governor is saying right now. So the Independent Corrupt Practices, Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offenses Commission, ICPC, they should do their job. EFCC should do their job. All of these people, all of these candidates, all of these people that are coming out and saying they're paying 100 million for one person or the other, the government needs to investigate all of these people. Because in the poverty that's inherent to the country, it's crazy that people are just doling out money. And the field of aspirants is overwhelming. It seems like each state has an aspirant. You have over 30-something people between the two parties. You have over 30-something people that's trying to run for president of Nigeria. So the agencies, man, they need to do their job. We need to have better laws in place. election campaign laws. We know election funding. We need to have laws in place that mitigate all of this nonsense. There has to be a ceiling on what can be charged for a form to run for the president. We need to come up with a new constitution, because I think we coming up with a new constitution will actually address all of this nonsense that's going on in Nigeria right now. Other news, man. Nigeria's House of Representatives to reconvene on Monday over central bank governor Emefiele's presidential aspiration. The House of Representatives will on Monday reconvene for an emergency plenary session to deliberate on the presidential ambition of the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, and the crisis in the aviation sector. Emefiele reportedly picked the nomination form on Friday from the party's organizing secretary at the International Conference Center in Abuja. He has come under heavy criticism. Emefiele, under whom the Apex Bank had retrogressed and the national economy receded, said it was patriots who bought the All Progressive Congress Party's nomination forms for him, adding that he would use his own money to buy his nomination forms when he had made a decision to run for the number one office. Also on Friday, Nigerian airline operators announced that they would suspend operations as from Monday due to the high cost of aviation fuel, which has hit 700 naira per liter. The president of Airline Operations of Nigeria, Abdul Manaf Sarina, disclosed this in a statement. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, you know. So I'm glad that the House of Representatives are actually going to deliberate on this central bank governor running for president, you know, because he's supposed to be he's not supposed to be part of a political party, you know what I'm saying? Because you're running the country's economy. You're not running the party's economy, you know what I'm saying? So it's ridiculous. The country has been failing, like the report said. Both reports that I just read just pointed out that on this watch, the country has not been doing great. And these are the people that want to come, that are stepping up to come rule Nigeria. When the job that you have had, you have not been able to make no positive impact in the lives of the people that you're serving, which is the Nigerian citizens. But yet you want to come. And that's what I'm saying. That's why the system is so messed up. You know what I mean? Because it's only in Nigeria you see mediocrity. You know, mediocrity at the top. You know, people that actually don't have no common sense. They're the ones that are leading the people with the brains. You know, because Nigerians are very smart people. You have Nigerians all over the world that are doing great things. But it's crazy that back home, it's not translating back home. Great things are not happening back home. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'll take it. We have great people, you know what I'm saying? In our arts, you know, we have great people. But when you have leaders that are not doing the right thing, man, you know, it just spoil everything for everybody, man. It's frustrating. That's what I'm saying, man. Other news, man. Nigerian police arrest officer seen in viral video dancing in support of a cult group. The Nigerian police force has confirmed the arrest of Corporal Matthew Isaac, who was seen in a viral video singing, dancing, and brandishing a rifle in praise of a particular co-fraternity cult. The arrest was confirmed in a statement issued by the Acting Force Public Relations Officer CSP Olumuyiwa Adejobi, who noted that the suspect was attached to the Ebonyi State Police Command. Adejobi, who condemned the conduct of the police officer, said it is clearly calculated to portray the NPF negatively, adding that it was against the provisions of the first schedule to Regulation 370 of the police regulations. The statement reads, the Inspector General of Police Usman Baba has condemned the unruly conduct of the police officer caught in a viral video singing, dancing, and brandishing a rifle in praise of a particular confraternity cult. The officer has been identified and is attached to the Ebonyi State Police Command. The act of the officer in question, which is clearly calculated to portray the police force negatively, is a discreditable conduct in line with the provisions of Regulation 370 of the Force Regulations. The Inspector General of Police IGP Usman Alkali Baba has directed the Commissioner of Police in charge of Ebonyi State to detail the command's OC Provost to hand over the erring officer to the Force Provost Marshal for necessary disciplinary actions. I mean, yeah, he needs to face disciplinary actions, but again, all of this nonsense, crazy behaviors are coming from the rats at the top. You know what I'm saying? When the leadership is bad, that's what happens, man. When your leadership is bad, that's just what happens. Everybody follows suit and do madness, So that's it. So we need to fix our country. We need to fix Africa. You know what I'm saying? Because the situation is just crazy. It's just mostly bad news coming out of Africa, man. With all the potential, it seems like it's just bad news. Al-Shabaab claims deadly attack on AU base in Somalia. Al-Shabaab jihadists armed with guns and explosives stormed an African Union base in Somalia on Tuesday, triggering a fierce firefight that killed Burundian peacekeepers. High-ranking Burundian military officers said about 30 soldiers were killed and another 22 wounded, while a dozen were missing. It was the first such attack on a peacekeeping base since the African Union transition mission in Somalia replaced the previous AMISOM peacekeeping force on April 1st. Al-Shabaab, which has been waging a deadly insurgency against Somalia's fragile central government for more than a decade, claimed responsibility, saying it had taken control of the camp and claimed to have killed 173 soldiers. Somalia's government said it condemns the attack against ATMIS and appealed to the international community to do more to support Somalia forces and ATMIS in effectively combating terrorism. ATMIS, made up of troops from Burundi, Djibouti, Ethiopia, Kenya, and Uganda, is tasked with helping Somalia forces take primary responsibility for security in a country that has been mired in conflict since 1991. The attack highlights the ongoing security woes in the troubled Horn of Africa country, which is also embroiled in a deep political crisis over delayed elections and faces the threat of famine. See what I mean? Our continent, man, we need to do better, man. African leaders, y'all need to come together, man. You know what I'm saying? We need to open manufacturing places, manufacture weapons, real training institutes, man. All this corruption, that's what's killing us. Because regardless of what we do, as long as the corruption is just in Africa like it is right now, then we're going nowhere, man. You know what I'm saying? That's the problem, because I don't believe that we cannot fight terrorists, man. I cannot believe it. These are about 4 or 5 different countries, man, that are battling. Our problem is corruption, and we are not focused. That's what I feel the African continent problem is. We have the wrong people that are leading us. People that are not leaders are leading Africa. That's the problem. 76 people arrested after police and Muslim worshippers clashed in Addis Ababa. A memorial museum and some businesses have been damaged in Addis Ababa after clashes between police and Muslims celebrating the end of Ramadan broke out on Monday, April 2nd. The incident occurred outside the International Stadium in the center of the Ethiopian capital, where Eid al-Fitr prayers were taking place. All the glass of the museum is shattered, says Mulalem Asafa, manager of Red Terror's Matthias Memorial Museum. A car that was used by former head of state Mengistu I. Mariam, which is now the property of the museum, is damaged. The minibus used for transportation is also vandalized. The cafe, the computer shop, and the book shop, which are administered by the museum, have been destroyed. 76 suspects have already been arrested by the Ethiopian police. A member of the Ethiopian High Council of Islamic Affairs reported that police at the scene told him that a policeman accidentally fired a round of tear gas, which triggered a confrontation. Journalist says some demonstrations Demonstrators shouted justice for Ganda and don't burn our mosque, don't kill our people. At least 20 people, Muslims, were killed last Tuesday in the northern city of Ganda while attending a funeral. The Islamic Affairs Council of the Amhara region says extremist Christians are responsible for the deadly attack. The region's security authorities said on Friday that 373 people have been arrested. See? Our problem, corruption and religion. Those are the things we need to get away with in Africa. The moment we can do away with corruption and have real institutions, you know what I'm saying? We go back to who we were, you know, because I mean, all of this stuff that's happening are evil seeds that were planted by the colonial masters that are actually affecting us today. All of this, Christianity, Islam, all of this are problems that are affecting us today. Now, come on. This is it. People are fighting because of religion. You know, it's not just alone in Ethiopia and all of this. It happens all over Africa. You know, the people that brought the religion to us, you don't see them fight. In the U.S., you don't see Muslims and Christians clashing. You know what I'm saying? Because religion is not, they don't carry religion on their head like we Africans do. You know what I mean? So we need to, African continent need to have some type of conference or something, you know what I'm saying, to get ourselves, to get our heads straight. Because I mean, the leaders of today, we don't have none. That's why everything is going the way it is in Africa. It's so disheartening, man. Anytime I'm reading this weekend review, sometimes I'm not even gonna lie, that's why we actually took a pause from the podcast, because it seemed like it's always bad news that are coming. You know what I mean? When you deal with so much negativity, man, it takes effect on you, start to affect you. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. Our leaders, we need to change our mindset. Our people, we need to change our mindset. We're going to keep speaking, regardless of how disheartening it is. We're going to keep speaking and trying to see how we can lend our voice, you know, to be part of the solution to the problems we face in Africa. You know what I mean? Other news. 8 dead in 3-story building collapsed in Nigeria. 3-story residential building has collapsed in Lagos, Nigeria's largest city, killing at least 8 people, with many fear trapped. Emergency response services said on Monday. 23 people have been rescued alive, including 7 children and 16 adults, said Ibrahim Farinloye of Nigeria's National Emergency Management Agency, adding 9 of those rescued alive have been treated and discharged. Among the dead are a mother and a son, and we are still looking for other victims, continued Farinloye. The cause of the collapse, which happened around 9:30 p.m. on Sunday, is yet to be established, according to the agency. The residential apartment building collapsed late Sunday night in the Oyingbo area of Lagos, Nigeria's commercial center and most populated city with more than 14 million people. Residents and passers-by gathered before dawn as they joined a team of emergency and aid workers who searched through the rubble in search of survivors. It is not clear how many occupants were in the apartment building located in a densely populated area of the city. Yeah, this is a very tragic situation right here. You know, I actually saw this. It's tragic. And what's even more tragic is that the people, the residents, the occupants of that building, even the owners knew that that building was not safe. You know, the government have been trying to evict them for a minute out of that building, and people were just so adamant to keep staying there. You know, even in that same area, you have other buildings that have actually been marked by the government that are not safe, that are marked for demolition, but you still have people that are still staying there, living there, and refuse to vacate it. You know, the owners that I saw with this, in respect to this particular building that collapsed, they were talking about, they told people to leave, and that when they come to the building, they were scared, they don't stay more than 2 minutes. But why didn't they do the needful themselves? Because I'm for sure they were still collecting rent. Even if those people did not move, they were still collecting rent from those people. So that just tells you what I mean by we as a people, we need to do better. Not just the government. We, the people, need to do better. We, the black people, we African people, we need to do better. You know what I'm saying? Because this tragedy right here could have been avoided if some people were not just thinking about their pockets. You know what I'm saying? Because that, at the end of the day, that's what it was about money. Because the owners of the building, I'm for sure till that building collapsed, they were still collecting rent from those people that were there. You know, so everybody have a blame to this. The government should have done the needful and went in there to make sure they evicted everybody. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not safe. It's not safe. They knew the building was going to collapse. They just didn't know when. You know, so the government and everybody involved should have done the needful. Again, our hearts go out to those people that died. You know what I'm saying? Those people that were affected. But, you know, we need to do better as a people, yo. Other news, my people. Miners trapped inside a mine in Burkina Faso await rescue. It's a race against time in Burkina Faso to save 8 miners trapped inside a mine. The operation started on the 21st of April after the Pecoa zinc mine was flooded. The miners are thought to be at a depth of 700 meters. The group includes 6 Burkina, 1 Zambian, and 1 Tanzania. At least 4 mining companies are involved in the pumping work. The families, however, are beginning to lose hope given the slow pace of the operation. According to local union representatives, shelters inside the mine can withstand certain living conditions for a fortnight, such as water and oxygen. Food, however, remains an issue. The families of the miners have already appealed for international help. It's just crazy, man. You know, it's just crazy. Our heart goes out to these people again, and our leaders, we need to continue to do the right thing by our people. We as a people, we need to continue to do the right thing for ourselves, for our own survival, for our own preservation, or else, you know what I'm saying? Because everything that just keep coming out of our beloved motherland and everything is always bad news, man. And it shouldn't be like that, you know what I mean? But we want to thank you again for joining us, for listening to us today. You know, seemed like all we brought you always negativity. I hope it doesn't affect you in a negative way. We're just trying to keep you informed, you know what I mean? But once again, this is your boy Prime Evil, the IMC TV Weekend Review. We appreciate you. Continue to support us. And make sure you go check out radio.imctv.com. That's our official digital radio station. And this show right here will be simulcast on that radio station also. Once again, we appreciate you. Continue to support us. We'll talk to y'all next weekend, people, and continue to check out our new offerings and all of that. One love, people.